Okay, the last one. We'll reset and refocus. Okay, so this is about you guys deciding what your 3 projects are for the next 3 months, what your priorities are, what you're going to try and achieve in terms of making your business better. And of course, in terms of systematizing it, right? Because that's really what we're talking about here, right? Systematizing it, putting other people into roles, not you. Got our roadmap. You got your roadmap there? Now, some of you did this a bit before, right? Because I think it was Martin Lockhart requested a bit of a end of financial year review, or I offered it and Martin was keen. So some of us have done it. We're going to do something very similar to what we did then, right? So bearing in mind, you did your momentum snapshot this morning, which looked like this. Back here, wasn't it? Was that it? There. Okay. What do you want for the next period? Okay. What is it you're after? What would you like to achieve? And what needs to happen? What are your projects going to have to be? Right? You can use the roadmap as a guide if that's what you want, or you might already know what you should be trying to do this quarter. So we've got in my team, how many projects did we have on Friday? Was it 11? We had 11 projects that we talked about in our team meeting on Friday, and we shared them out between the 11 of us. Now, some of them are projects that are already underway, so the project is really making it a bit better, and some of them are kind of new things that will take up a lot of time and energy. But how many are in our team now? 7? Right, so it's 1 and a bit each, right? Yeah, there's a few of us now, so we can share projects out like that. So, 3 might be right if you have a small team. If you have a bigger team, you might think you've got capacity for more than 3. And you might go into your spare blank pages and write some additional projects down for you to do. Now, so what do you want to achieve? What needs to happen for you to achieve that? I want you to think of a few things. I want you to look at your roadmap, and I want you to start at the bottom of the roadmap with a small fish, the scramble, because if you haven't done all the things in that bottom row, probably you should prioritize those over doing the things in the next row up, okay? Because a lot of it builds on it like a foundation of a house. If you haven't done your marketing groundwork and you're not really clear on why you're good, what you do, why you're good, and who you do it for, then investment in marketing will frustrate you. You'll waste money. Okay, so think about that. I did them very specifically from the bottom up because they come at different stages in the growth of your business. Okay, look, daily huddles down there, weekly operations meetings down there, time on the business is down there. Some of those quick wins are down there too. Thanks, Lindy. Right, so what do you want between now and Christmas? Where do you want to be at come Christmas? What has to happen for you to hit some goals? For me, it's gearing up, right? It's more money invested in marketing. It's my people. It's those 12 projects. It's making the Facebook ads work better. It's making this coaching program better, serve you better. It's getting you achieving better results by involving your teams. It's making the conversion through our funnels work better at each point. It's making our sell by chat work better. Right, there's a bit on for us. What's on for you? What's your thing? Now, what are your 3 things? I hope this isn't making your eyes hurt. Oh, we've got some roadmaps. Good. Right, so if you're a project trade or a builder, you want this one. If you're a maintenance trade, you want this one. the differences are mostly in the sales process. Maintenance trades have a different sales process, right? You're looking at a quick quoting process and an upsell process, whereas with the builders and the project guys, it's a bit different. Okay. And I'm going to move on. Somewhere we have an impact filter. Where's our impact filter? There. Somewhere you have an impact filter. I want to take you through this. Remember I talked about the delegation process when you're delegating a process to somebody. Well, when you're starting a project, it's a bit different because it's new. The approach is very similar, right? We're still talking about what problem we're solving, what difference it will make. Right, so we're still giving somebody the context, but we might not necessarily know enough about what needs to happen to write them a process. Right? They might be figuring that out, or you might be figuring that out. So I want you to write one of these impact filters for each of your projects that you're going to do. Okay. So Martin, you're going to write, what was it, a quoting process so that someone else can do quotes. That's going to be one of your projects, right? You're going to write quoting process, someone else doing estimating.
Yep.
And you're going to do, let's try and bullshit you an impact filter now. Well, since that's one I can think of. What problem are we solving? It's the problem of Martin having too many jobs to do, right? Not enough time.
Yep.
We're solving the problem of
Also, it's also another step in systemizing the business as well.
Yeah.
Because right now it's all in my head, really.
Yeah. Good. Okay. So I'll do this quoting process. Problem we're solving. Martin's time. What difference will it make if someone else does the quoting? It'll be time spent on business development, won't it?
Yeah, freeing up time.
Yeah. And it's a risk, isn't it? Reduces risk. Because right now, if you're sick or something, you can't quote. So it reduces the risk and the bottleneck of Martin. So what does done look like? What outcome do we want? Done looks like Martin doesn't do quotes anymore, right? Someone else doesn't.
Yeah, removed from quoting.
Yeah. That's quite important, isn't it? What does done look like?
Yeah.
How do we know when we've successfully done it, right? How will we know we've finished? Okay, so then what are the 6 big chunks you might need to do to build your quoting process up? I've written a video on this, so I'll try and remember what I said in the video. You need to understand your inputs, don't you? So you need to understand what you need to measure and write down what processes are going to have to take place. Let's say we're doing, I don't know, let's say we're doing what's a job you commonly do, Martin? Replace the insides of a toilet because it's broken. Can we say that? So you need to understand, I don't know, you need to figure out what's wrong. You need to figure out what type of mechanism it is. You need to go and get the right one from the plumbing supply shop. Right. So in terms of quoting, you need to understand all that, don't you?
Yeah.
So you can quote for the right one. You need rules for applying inputs to price workbook. Right, you need a price workbook. You know what I mean? So somebody needs to go, all right, I've been to the site, I've had a look, or I've asked these questions or looked at these photographs. I've got the price workbook. I understand how to go and take what I see and turn it into a price from the price workbook.
Yeah.
So you train somebody. What else do we need to do? That's probably it, isn't it? And then there's the rest of the delegation process, right? Checklist. Checklist and documentation. And handover period. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Is that making sense, everybody, to help you with an impact filter? You've all got a quoting process, right? So it feels like it would be relevant to everybody. So what are the 3 next things you've got to do, Martin? Where are you going to start?
Don't know.
Well, look, I mean, any of those 6 big chunks, right? So you could start by going, all right, how's your price workbook? I'd start there because I suspect it's nearly complete. So it might not be too far for you to get that ready.
Yeah, so we've got like a fixed pricing for most things, but the things that we do need to quote on are normally a bit out of the ordinary or slightly larger than just general maintenance.
With the slightly larger ones, can they be, several things from your fixed price list? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like if you're doing a bathroom renovation, it's like, a vanity has to go in and a sink has to be plumbed in and a toilet has to go in and a shower and waterproof.
Yeah, it can tiling. Be. Yeah.
So maybe that's where you start. Maybe you upgrade your price workbook to do a bit more of that, cover a bit more of those things. And then you go back to, all right, what do you need? What questions do you ask? All right, questions. Like, what do you need to know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, when you this is where I have to go. I don't really understand this now better than you. You understand this better than me. So you have to go, all right, when I'm doing that, what do I do? What do I ask? What do I need to know? You write that down.
Yeah.
So if someone says, quote, this job, let's call it a bathroom renovation.
Yeah.
What do you do? What do you do? Where do you start? Probably that one, isn't it? Start there, Martin.
Yeah.
That one. Get it out of your head.
Yeah.
Down.
Understand inputs and ask questions.
Yeah. Just take yourself through the process you would go through if someone said, can you quote this, please? If it's not if you can't just go straight to your flat rate price list, what do you do? You understand those inputs, right? You go, what do you want? Do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want the other? What else do you need? How big are they? You do some measuring, don't you?
Yeah.
All those things, right? And then the next thing is, how do you turn that and the prices for the different bits and pieces into a quote?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Does anybody want to do another one?
Hey, Martin, what I did the trick with when I was getting my guys, often you can send the guys out to go through your checklists and bring all the information back to you so you can do the quotes from the information and then work towards then getting them to take over the next step, So it's not all one thing and you get a chance to say, oh, you didn't ask this or you didn't do that. You get a bit of a transition process.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Give you a chance to review it, So they come back with all the info, you turn it into a quote, and then they sit down and do a few with you to see what it is, and you can pick up on on the anything they're not getting. Oh, well, you didn't look at this, or you didn't look at that. You didn't follow the process here, or
Yeah, no, that's good. That's kind of what we're going to start doing with them. I can check over at the end, and
yeah, they come back with they go out. They're the ones going out, getting the info, and then which is taking that takes what most of your time. So they bring all the
break
info
your process
back to you,
down into different into a few processes, like Toby's saying. That's what you mean, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't have to do the whole process all at once. You can do a little bit of it at a time.
Yeah.
That's good. Thanks, Toby, for that.
Yeah, thanks.
That's a good insight. Anybody else want to nominate one, and we'll do the same impact filter for it?
So mine, let me just open that back up. So problems sort of equating an estimation process for us. So I've sort of been working on that on and off, depending over the last little while, because our main job at the moment has been a design and construct, and only elements of that quoted. So we need to get basically all of our actual material price lists and all of that into the actual modelling program. So when we actually build the model, then it spits out our price based on that. So yeah, problems quoting an estimation process. Impact will be more accurate quotes and clear plan. And then the outcome would be projects completed on time and on budget. So the big chunks I've just put sort of time scheduled to enter data entry into Plus Design Build and building the price book. So delegate that to Judy, our data entry lady.
Yeah.
Isaac, so for me to spend more time designing and learning Plus Design Build, so just learning that actual system, which I've been doing a fair bit of, but I need to do more. And then also just getting the export streamlined of the material and pricing into Buildertrend for the proposals. I did one the other day, and there were sort of lines that missed and some lines that sort of duplicated, and it took a little bit of extra admin on the Buildertrend side, whereas I should be able to just do a straight export through, and it should all. So that's just a practice and learning thing.
Yeah.
And then also based on that, then setting up sort of those templates for the proposals for our Zoom calls to run the client through that proposal, or at the coffee shop, meeting up with them to make the sale. So sort of setting up either, like a portfolio or a file that I can take if it's face-to-face, and or how that's done through Zoom like we talked about earlier.
Yeah, beautiful. So where are you going to start?
So
You need to build your price book first, don't you?
To get Judy gathering pricing based on current projects. So I've already got some price lists, like I've already got lists of what material we need, but we need to actually kind of confirm pricing on that.
Yeah.
So I'll delegate that out. And then I've just put scheduled time in the office to basically bring it all together. So if I can get Judy gathering and doing that slow fiddly process of sort of pricing and that, then the rest of it is really just up to me to spend the time in the system, get it run streamline as I've put above.
Good.
And then step 3 will be doing it, having it all work seamlessly, I suppose. Yeah.
Good. Is this helping everybody? Enjoying this?
Yep.
Good. All right. What's your plan for the next quarter then? What's your revenue target? That should say revenue target, gross margin target, and net profit target, or net margin target, net profit target, GP. So they can be numbers. Mine was what? 50K. That's per month. And 10K net profit after a salary. All mine's net profit margin now. What's yours? Right? What's your... your gross margin should be 20 to 30 if you're a builder and 30 to 40 if you're another trade. And your net profit target or your net margin target should be 10%. So what's your monthly revenue target? And what are your percentage targets as part of that? Martin, what did you say? 165 and 10%? Right. Give yourself a target to chase. Let's do it. And what are your projects? John, we've got 12 projects. Now here's a question for you. My next slide says your big numbers. Who here has an up-to-date big numbers tracker with all your big numbers in it? Isaac does. One of you does. There was one wiggly handshake and one yes, one confident yes. I'm gonna do a couple of things. Because, you know, that's not unusual. That's my experience often, right, of how this works. There's two things I want you to do. Keep your big numbers tracker up to date. There's a video on how to do it. And there's my thumb. And you don't need to do it, right? You can get someone else to do it. So if you want another action to take home from today, it's to assign somebody to watch the big numbers tracker training and video and do it. And then meet with you once a month to help you understand your numbers properly. Maybe to attend the monthly money check-in with you so you can both understand the numbers together. Quite sure what's going on here. Let's go to members login. The other thing I want you to do, if you don't mind, go into your dashboard in here and write your big numbers in there. Okay, where are we?
I've put a link in the chat for everyone too.
Thanks, Nancy. Right, so if you can jump in here and write your big numbers in for us, we'll try and do something interesting with them by the next workshop. Okay, because what I'm thinking here is with our small fish scaling system, which, as you know, we think is funny. Is there a slide here? No, thought I had a slide there. Okay, it's on here.
One of the first ones, I think, John.
It was, wasn't it? There. Right, we're going to try and figure out what to do with this, right? I want you to be thinking about which fish you are and which fish you want to be. Right, and if you put your numbers in the accelerator, we'll know which fish you are, and we'll do something interesting with it for next time. I'm not quite sure what yet. Okay, but I want to measure. We had a bit of fun with this. We've made a thing, you know. If you're growing up there, if you're on your way to being a shark, or you'll be on there, don't forget, these are revenue numbers, monthly revenue numbers, but you can really only consider yourself, I don't know, a tuna if you're at the revenue number and your margins are in the target zones as well. Okay? Revenue's not useful for you without margins. So you're not up there yet if your margins aren't right. You've still got some way to go. Okay, but if you enter the stuff in, I'll have some data and I'll figure out what to do with it. I'm not really sure I want to be sharing everybody's private information around unless you don't mind, but we'll figure out something to do. Maybe we'll send you a fish sticker so you can stick it on your scale system or something. Put it on the wall. Okay, so that's just a bit of fun, right? I'm doing a bit of measuring and a bit of I want you to see that there's a way to go, and I want you to see that you're making progress. A lot of this is about both of those things together, right? I want you to make progress, and I want you to realize and enjoy the fact that you're making progress. Money's one of them. Okay. So that's it, mate. Do you have your quarter plan? Have you put your numbers in? Have you delegated somebody or chosen somebody to look after your big numbers tracker? Have you decided which members of your team you're going to start involving in this stuff and how you're going to manage that? I recommend you share your strategy and some of the decisions you've made today and ask for people to volunteer to take jobs on. That's what we did. We did our meeting on Friday and everybody took a project, at least one, right? So everyone's now going, all right, I've got this project to plan. We're doing impact filters. We did impact filters and everyone's kind of taken some ownership, which is fun. Okay, so have you done that? And if we go back to your momentum snapshot, hopefully, it's a lot of pages, isn't it? There, right? Your projects for the rest of the year, put them in there. Okay. So your job for the next 3 months or so before our next workshop in November is to try and make progress on those 3 projects. They might be really big ones, right? And you might not complete them by November. So give yourself that, comfort that that might not be what you have to do. Your job's to make some progress. Okay. Something like Simpro that you're putting in place, Toby and Lawson, might take you a lot longer than 3 months. That's quite a big job. I don't have any questions. We're going to finish up in a few minutes, I think. It's time for some questions. You all have 3 projects that you feel happy with.
I've got a question, John, only because I missed a tiny little bit. On our 3 projects, you got revenue target, then you got revenue target, and then you got net profit. I couldn't work out what you wrote over.
It was meant to say gross profit target.
Gross profit, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And I'm thinking of that as a monthly number. What you want your monthly, so for the December month perhaps, or for the average by Christmas time. So I'm after 50 revenue and 50 gross margin because I don't have costs, I don't buy materials, and a 10,000 net, which is a 20% for me because I'm a coach, not a trader. It's different numbers. Okay, but also your targets for things to achieve and your projects for achieving them. And if you're all feeling really frisky, how about this? How about you take a picture of your quarter plan with your phone and you put it in our Facebook group. How does that feel? Does that feel a bit challenging? So that where is it? So just go in here, write a post. Here's my plan. Click more, you can add a file, or you can attach a photo, bung it in there. And we'll have fun looking at them on Thursday, and we'll have fun looking at them in November. How does that sound? Who's feeling brave? Who wants to be held publicly accountable in November? When I go, let's have a look at all these photographs from back in up to August. I'll do mine as well.
For all the handwriting, lovely.
Yeah, with all the shit handwriting.
I don't think anyone was going to see these.
Better. post mine. I'm going to finish this up, guys. Does anyone like to ask me anything or comment anything? Do you feel like you'll be ready to kind of, go a little bit harder this quarter than perhaps you have in the past?
Yep.
A little more focused?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Those three things, or those 3 or 4 projects you've written, they're the ones you focus on, right? Fuck everything else. That's what you need to do this quarter. If you can give yourself a day a week to do it, half a day if a day a week sounds too much, but commit yourself to some time, to some investment of energy. See what improvements you can make. All right, I might let you go. Thank you for your attention and your energy today, guys.
Cheers, everyone.
I enjoyed it. See you,
Yeah.
everybody.
Bye. Bye.
Thanks, John.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thanks,
everyone.
See you, everyone.
Mate.
Bye bye.
See ya.